can call me Sir J. For our lesson for this week, we have chemistry in everyday life. Napakahalaga ng papel na ginagampanan ng chemistry sa ating mundo, lalong-lalo na sa iba't ibang industriya. The industrial application of chemistry directly affect our daily lives. What we eat, what we wear, our transportation, and the technologies that we are using. Chemistry is also essential for meeting our basic needs of food, clothing, shelter, health, energy, clean air, and what? And soil. Materials engineers and scientists, gumawa sila ng mga paraan through chemistry para makater yung demands of different industries, especially in the medical and construction fields. So, in our module for this week, we are mostly immersed in the manufacturing and production of medical implants or prostheses, sports equipment, electronic devices, construction materials, and construction supplies for buildings and furniture and other household gadgets. So, this time, ipo-full screen ko class ang ating viewing supported by my voiceover para mas maintindihan ninyo at tumatak sa inyong isipan ang ituturo ko. So, let's proceed. Medical implants or prostheses. The human body is vulnerable to injuries and aging, which result in loss of functionality of certain body parts. So to regain the parts' previous functionality, the use of standardized parts and mechanism in the form of medical implants or prostheses has been introduced as a replacement or reconstruction of the human skeleton. Kapag sinabi natin class na medical implants or prostheses, yan yung mga device na nilalagay sa katawan ng tao. To remedy the adverse effects of implants, recent developments in the production of prostheses or medical implants includes the customization of bone parts that are exclusive to the patient's needs. Marami tayong iba't ibang paraan para makagawa ng medical implants or prostheses or yung mga prosthetics natin. An example nga dyan is the electron beam melting or yung tinatawag natin na EBM. So it uses powdered titanium to be melted to the surface of the cast under vacuum and high temperature. Electron beam exposure, which effectively melts the titanium powder without altering its properties and creating a dimensionally accurate prosthesis. Meron din naman tayong tinatawag na computer numerically controlled procedure or yung CNC procedures. Computer numerically controlled procedure is the production of prosthesis that is unique to one patient. It also involves titanium and zirconium deposition to create a surface that is porous and fibrous similar to that of the bone to increase biocompatibility. There are three types of CNC machining operations: yung drilling, milling, and turning. Another one, we have the use of pyrolytic carbon or yung tinatawag natin na pyrocarbon. Aside from EBM and CNC procedures, the use of pyrocarbon has been introduced as one of the new innovations in the field of prosthesis. Pyrocarbon is a carbon-based material that is heated to decomposition. One important property of pyrocarbon is its ability to exhibit isotropy. It has distorted layers connected to strong intramolecular links. It has advantages which are the production of chemically pure parts possible, higher wear resistance of surface, and lower gas permeability. Because of chemistry, nakagawa rin siyempre ng iba't ibang sports equipment. Different kinds of sports equipment have changed over the years to increase playing efficiency and effectiveness, and to prevent possible accidents that might harm the players. Nanotechnology. It has been used to attain more ergonomic sports equipment that is more durable, yet considerably lightweight and dimensionally accurate, for athletes to have better performance and improving maneuverability. Siyempre class, isa rin sa mga pinaunlad ng chemistry ay ang ating mga electronic devices. One prime result of the continuous development of material science and engineering is widely observable and utilized in the field of electronics, especially in harnessing renewable energy tulad ng ating mga solar panels. Another thing na natulungan at napaunlad ng chemistry ay ang mga construction supplies for buildings and furniture. Construction and furniture business shifted from the excessive use of synthetic materials to the gradual inclusion of materials from the natural setting. So the trend in this sector is to produce products and structures that are energy efficient, biologically safe, recyclable, and most importantly, have low carbon footprint that can lessen the contribution to greenhouse effect. Siyempre, hindi rin naman talaga magpapahuliklas ang ating mga household gadgets. In recent years, household equipment and gadgets have also undergone continuous development and innovations, which were possible by any material science and engineering to cater to the changing needs of people. Some technological innovation include auto-cleaning, which can kill bacteria and germ through radiation, and ultraviolet light exposure. One promising technology that is being employed in the household equipment is minimizing human contact by making these kinds of equipment sensitive to various stimuli and making them respond automatically. So, innovations in household gadgets involve major automation and less physical intervention or manipulation from the people using them. So ayan, napanood na natin ang mga bagay na nagagawa ng chemistry. As a review, we have noticed that materials and science engineering is responsible for innovating materials by incorporating the knowledge in the physical and chemical properties of materials. Medical implants or prostheses are artificial body parts made up of sturdy materials that will not cause harm to the body. These are made up of titanium, zirconium, and pyrocarbons. Different kinds of sports equipment have polymers to increase sports efficiency and decrease sports-related injuries. However, electronic device naman utilizes the electrical conductivity of graphenes on solar cells and electronics. Construction supplies for buildings and furniture are now energy efficient and made up of bio-based and recyclable materials such as fabric panels. Lastly, household gadgets are now automated. Let's proceed to our next lesson. We have the biological molecules. So, kapag sinabi natin biological molecules, they are naturally occurring chemical compounds that are necessary for the existence of life. They include the large amount of molecules such as carbohydrates, proteins, lipids, and nucleic acids. They are important for the survival of living things or living cells. Our number one biological macromolecule is carbohydrates. So what are they? They are the main source of our body to gain energy. They are our fuel. Kumbaga sa motor, sila yung ating gasolina. They make up the cell wall in plants which allow them to grow tall. Without this carbohydrate, a plant would be mushy mess. This type of carbohydrate is called cellulose. They have several important functions such as structural support and storage of energy. There are two types of carbohydrates. Number one is simple and number two is complex. So, what is the simple carbohydrates? They are carbohydrates that made up of one or two monomers. They also taste sweet. Example niyan ay yung mga cookies, candies, cakes, and fruits. Number two is complex. Complex carbohydrates are polymers made up of many monomers. Most also taste starchy. Mga example nila is pasta, fibers, breads, whole grains, starches, and vegetables. Let's proceed to lipids. Lipids are biomolecules that contain large hydrophobic structures that are commonly not soluble in water. The primary function of lipids are storage of energy and building material for cell membranes. Matatagpuan natin sila in plants, in animals, in adipose tissue, connective tissue, and lipids make up the cell membrane of all cells. Let's proceed to nucleic acids. Nucleic acids are the most important macromolecules for the continuity of life. They carry the genetic blueprint of a cell and carry instructions for the functioning of the cell. Nucleic acids naturally occurring chemical compounds that is capable of being broken down to yield phosphoric acid, sugars, and a mixture of organic bases. Let's proceed to proteins. Proteins constitute more than half of the cell's dry weight. Proteins generally contain carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, and oxygen. Amino acids are the building blocks of protein. They are bifunctional compounds containing both carboxylic group and a basic group that is attached to a carbon atom. Amino acids are linked by peptide bonds to form proteins. They make up non-steroid hormones. Aside from protein found in animal sources, protein can also be found in fruits, vegetables, grains, and nuts. Okay, as a review, we have 4 biological macromolecules known as carbohydrates, lipids, nucleic acids, and proteins. You already know their properties and functions. Palagi lang ninyong tandaan na i-review ang module at intindihan. Good luck class and God bless.